get off your games. Did we watch Woodstock 99 via HBO or Netflix? Also, I love you. But yeah, I definitely think, like, over time, seeing how angry those people were and knowing how, like, historically it was supposed to be, like, this hippie-loving thing, I think it evolved with societal anger.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in the documentary Woodstock 99, or if I heard it somewhere else, but the idea that all these young, angry white boys kind of grew up, and then it's easy to see that there might have been a correlation of people showing up at the January 6th incident. And that maybe those same kids grew up and did that. Like, there's no evidence to it, of course, but, like,
or their sons
filing
and
that,
daughters.
seeing that trail of, like, angry, like, the white angry American boy just fed up, like, kind of makes sense. And, yeah, there was that, like, pandemic that we all went through. But, like, I have to imagine that anger and that hatred that came from that little bit of Woodstock kind of also grew. Or, like, ooh, it's raining.
Right. Well, what was I thinking? I kind of understand, like, since I listen to basically all those bands for the most part. Like, I love Korn. I can't say I don't love Limp Bizkit. No one loves Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
But I enjoy certain songs by them.
It's just one of those days.
When you don't want to wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. That's how the song goes, right?
I sing a little prayer for you. Sorry.
We have not smoked any sandwiches today.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, that is a lie. I guess I smoked one this morning for breakfast. But, those bands kind of come with this white incel kind of following. And I know that because I go to those concerts. Yes. Those are the concerts I go to.
Yep.
And they're all there.
Yep.
And I don't really like being associated with them, but it's also why I kind of joke around with being the, I'm Brittany, it's the Chad version, but a girl that's a Chad.
Is that what it is?
That's what I call them, or Britneys. I like to joke that I'm like a mild Britney sometimes. Because I love some of that basic shit so much. And at the same time... you know what, though? I can't do that.
I can.
It's too much. I remember the times it made me feel nice, and I wanted it every day, and now it gives me the shit, so...
Pumpkin spices are for me. Ooh.
You are spicy pumpkin.
I'm obsessed. I don't care how basic it feels.
You wear Ugg boots. Yep. You don't actually love iPhone.
I don't love iPhones.
He loves Ugg boots, hot chip, lye, and pumpkin spice latte.
Yep. my little chihuahua in my bag.
Most importantly, lye and pumpkin spice latte.
My sweet little boy.
Sweet little boy chihuahua. Is that who pumpkin spice is?
Yeah. I call him pumpkin spice.
That's the cutest chihuahua name.
That's kind of cute.
If you ever get a chihuahua, you have to name it that now.
I'll consider it.
Or if I do, I'm stealing your name.
That's fine too.
Not that I would ever get a chihuahua.
Yeah. No, but the Woodstock, back to that subject.
And he said Netflix. I watched the one on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. Whenever they do, like, dual documentaries, like, I could watch both of them, but it's basically the same information. Like, do you remember the Fire Festival concert?
I watched all those.
All of it?
Yeah, I loved watching all those people.
I might have just watched the one on Hulu. I don't know. That one was wild too.
I don't know which one I started. I watched all of them, but the one I'm thinking of specifically. Yeah, my ADHD brain says they're all one and the same.
Yeah, it just depends which one's the worst. Apparently, even the 70s one and the one after that weren't very good as well.
There were other fire festivals?
No, Woodstock.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. like those ones also had their issues and were also problematic, but they were more peaceful than Woodstock 99 and Fire Festival.
When I started seeing the trucks blow up, I was like, holy...
Yeah.
I would have left the first day. I know I have a lot of piss and vinegar in me, but I don't have enough to ever stay in that kind of situation.
No.
I've made bad decisions. I have, and I will continue to in my life. That would not have been one of them.
What was it? There was a story in the documentary that I watched on HBO. Like, they kept cutting to this guy who went to the event, but also he didn't seem like he was like the main focus for some reason. Like, I can't really remember the whole thing. He would start reading out journal entries from his friend who also went with him, and it still did not click in my head. And he was telling stories about how his friend was super excited to see the next person. I think he was working up to Korn. Was it Korn?
A lot of people said they were basically there for Korn. I wouldn't be surprised.
That probably was it then. So by like the third night that they were there, what do you know what night Korn showed up?
I think
it might have been
I think
third.
Korn. I feel like that was at the beginning. Let's look it up. Let's find
look
out.
it up. But he was talking about that his friend really wanted to go over there and see Korn. So he was like, all right, bye. I'll catch up with you when I can. And back then there were no cell phones or no way to actually contact with people. All they had was like a weird little wooden like layout of a place called People Finders, where if you got lost with your friend, you guys would just naturally just try to meet to one of those places. But it was so janky and broken, and no one really like knew what it was supposed to be implying. Like no one knew that's how you would try to find each other. And
because they didn't communicate shit, even if they had it available.
Yeah, because they're what do you say? Oh yeah, if you get lost, go to this place. So they kind of lost him. They're like, all right, well he's probably going off smoking some weed, probably waiting for Korn. And then the guy just, went on and talked about his adventure that he experienced, and then they paused the documentary so they can bring up the fact that they discovered that his friend who was writing the journals passed away over heat exhaustion because he was in like a large group of people that like he couldn't breathe and he died.
Oh my god. Jeez, I was listening to a paramedic on my documentary talk about people being brought to him that were, and he was like, they were literally dry. You touch them and they're dry.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt someone that's like that dehydrated before?
No.
It's scary. Like you literally, skin is always slightly wet. Like even when it's dry, like I'm looking at your skin, I'm looking at mine, we're both moisturized.
Yeah.
But like when you touch it and it's like, you pull the skin up and it stays and it doesn't move.
Ooh.
Because it's just pliable at that point. There's no water.
Yeah.
It feels weird. And like that's a really, really bad point to be at.
Yeah.
It means your body has exhausted all forms of hydration.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a whole bunch of people come in?
He said that first day he knew he was, like, not prepared. It was within, I think, by the second or third night, because it went on for, like, 4 days, right? It was, like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Korn was on the second day, on Friday.
Okay, so they lost him on the second day,
mm-hmm.
and they didn't discover till, like, the end of it where he ended up.
Jesus.
That was a common case that happened to a lot of people in the concert, that they would just lose people and all of a sudden they're just dead.
Thank God we have cell phones. I don't know if my fucked up mind could handle that.
Yeah.
I would need someone at all times with me in that case.
'Cause, like, that's very extreme. And then they talked about the toilets stopped working after a while.
Yeah, I saw, like, pictures of people, like, trying to use the porta potties, and, like, the shit was so high it was on the ground.
Yeah, and
it was
people
coming
started
out.
People were doing the mud thing that they did in the 70s.
Oh my god.
Not knowing what they were in.
As they were saying it on my documentary, I see this like rather large guy just like right into the mud and just slide, and he gets up like whoo, and it's on his face and it's dripping like, and all the open spaces, and he's laughing, and other people are laughing because they think they're having fun, and Ian and I at the same time went like as soon as he hit the ground, or just you don't know what you're in, and now everyone's seeing you on Netflix.
You hide your shame, and we watch it. Yeah, no, I saw like, what was it, like 2 people, like not even a few feet away from the porta potties, just on the ground in the mud, just having the time of their life, throwing mud in their face. Like, you're right next to the toilets. Like, you can't put that together. That what's happening here, but someone said that it was far better being in that mud than to be in the high dry heat, and that's why some people would just go for it, because what's the alternative? There was none. So like, oh, that looks like mud.
Honestly, as sad as it is in a desperate situation where you're not being provided enough water, God forbid you don't have 12 fucking bucks on you to buy a water bottle at this festival in the 90s, but like, yeah, some people may have been saved if they just would have rolled around in some shit mud. And that's saying something. That's how pigs live. Like, literally.
Yeah, that's how they live.
Oh my god.
And yeah, like the owners just never wanted to take any responsibility for it. Like, there's video of like them blaming MTV. Like, they would take press conferences every morning, and then they would be like, why is everything terrible? I'm like, well, that's because MTV's reporting and they hate us. It's like, that's not it. That's obviously not it.
The asshole with the brim hat.
Yeah.
You know that owner?
Yeah.
They brought up kind of that point, like whose fault it is, and he was like, I don't really know, but what I do think is that, you know, kids these days, they just gotten angrier and angrier. And that right there is actually where I got the idea that the reason people are so much more angry now, and the music has evolved with it, is because people like him hadn't changed it from before. But it was him saying that where I was like, oh, so we're lazy assholes and you're not? I hear what you're saying.
Okay,
You've earned this. But yeah, he was just like, they're just angry. They can't express themselves. Shut up.
Like, that's the idea of music. That's how you're expressing yourself. And so to have a lot of that piled up in 4 days,
dude,
like that, I think that yeah, what's the list?
This is
or what's a small sample of like,
this is the whole list. Okay. Here's Thursday pre-show, and then we're to Saturday, and let's scroll on down into Sunday.
Wow, Willie Nelson was there. Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking through these. There's so many people I didn't know were here. So the lady,
it was a big one.
I got confused, but I was thinking of Sheryl Crow, not Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, but like, look at each day and see that there's just one female artist per day.
Buck Cherry was the thing back then?
Oh yeah.
You want to know something funny? Okay, before we go on. So when I was on my mission trip in New Orleans, I was 15, and I fell asleep at the place I was helping. Like, I had to go assess dilapidated homes and be like, oh, like the front door looks like it's intact, so you probably don't have to throw that out. But the side panels are all ruined, so that's trash. Like, just a little bit of help, just a little assessing. But I fell asleep because I came back early on some chairs, and other people were still out. And my phone number for, I think it was one of my friends, was Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry. And mind you, this is a very Catholic mission trip. Like, there's very much all Karens are watching us. And this is at a Catholic charity as well. And so I'm asleep, and I wake up to, hey, you're a crazy bitch, but you look so good, one on top of it. And I this, my youth minister was like, Haley, I love you for who you are, but this is not the place. And I'm like barely awake. Everyone's watching and laughing. I'm like, oh no, this is embarrassing. But yeah. Also, the only song I ever knew by Buck Cherry, because they're not that great. Insane Clown Posse is there?
Oh, word?
Yeah. Who are you? Well, yeah, I don't know y'all.
Kid Rock.
Fucking Kid Rock.
He was also, he was another instigator, but not as big as Limp Bizkit, I don't think.
I'd believe that. I actually, when I was watching the documentary, I wasn't surprised. They were like, Korn, Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Why are we angry?
And,
why are we so angry right now?
Right. What's funny, though, is, like, I'm looking at early stage on Saturday for the concert, and there's Kid Rock, and then over on the other side is Rage Against the Machine. And I'm like, that is polar opposites right there. They might have a bit of the same crowd, but now that we're to 2022, we know those crowds don't mix anymore.
Okay, but the one in the middle, Dave Matthews Band, really throws you off. Counting Crows, that throws you off.
Do you like my crows?
Do you like my
crows?
crows?
I like your crows.
You ever have
I
Baileys?
made my crows.
Who made your crows?
I'll make my crows. You
Los
made
Lobos
my
was
crows.
there? That's insane.
Los Who's that?
Sometime in heaven. I can't remember the song. Lord, can you help me? They're like a Latin band that, like, it's like I don't know what to describe it. Like a country. No, not even that. I don't know. They're pretty legit.
Gotcha. Ice Cube, Everclear.
Ice Cube was there?
Everclear sing?
Oh,
I remember listening to them. I don't even know.
Click on the name. Muse? Muse was there? Wow.
Wait, where?
Last day.
No way. I'm actually going to look up Everclear on Spotify.
Take and we're going to go to Woodstock 99. That sounds like a great idea.
To specific parts.
Yeah, just fast forward to all the good parts.
Is that?
Everclear, I think, sung...
That'll get copyright.
That's the one.
Yeah. I don't Ghost.
That's right.
West Coast. I don't wanna. I don't wanna.
We're not gonna get copyright now.
Right.
Okay,
Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course. Everlast. Who's Everlast?
Everlast?
Yeah.
I know Everlast. Did they sing Listerine? Days go
Okay.
by.
Hold on, that's Bush. And you said Listerine?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Glycerine.
Glycerine. Okay. Side story. In high school, there was a talent show, and somebody decided to sing Glycerine, so replace the words with Listerine. So it's always been lodged in my head that that's what it's called.
Okay. Sometimes teenagers are actually fucking funny. That's funny.
That's kind of a genius change up. But also...
It was how genuine you said that. You were like, Listerine.
Yeah, because I always sing it in my head that way. Because that's always just been stuck in my head. Weird. And I've known that it's been Glycerine, but I've just I've never programmed in my head to just call it what it is.
That's hilarious.
Wow, that's nuts to me. No, that was Bush?
Yes, Bush was Glycerine.
Oh, that was Bush? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Seven Dust, Collective Soul. Yep.
Fatboy Slim.
Oh, no.
Weapon of Choice. Have you heard that song?
I don't know.
Do yourself a favor and when you get home, look up Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim. The music video. It's Christopher Walken's in one of his greatest roles ever.
Saved on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Watch the music video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Godsmack and Megadeth. Oh, I've always wanted to see Megadeth.
I mean, looking at the full list, there is some type of quiet moments, but it's very jumbled in with a lot of angry boys, and also the crowd was mainly angry boys. So
They really were. It looked like such a frat meetup. I felt bad for all those teenage girls that were there.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Man,
no.
I heard some rough stories.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even get into those because they were too rough on the documentaries. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's dark. Okay.
In this documentary, that they were not good. There was not a lot of good stuff.
Like, without saying any details, because not right now.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Davis, when he was interviewing, you could tell that part actually really upset him.
I got that in the
Did
other
you?
documentary. Yeah, he felt it was kind of disgusting.
He literally was like, I just don't see why girls can't have just as much fun as us
Yeah.
guys. This shouldn't have happened. And
Yeah.
it was like the look on his face where you're like, okay, he actually, that hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, because you're not human if you do.
And the DJ, who I didn't really know in the rave building, he was really, there was like some DJ in one of the, maybe?
Bald head?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was Moby.
Yeah, he, like, that shit fucking bothered him. It's what made him shut his set down.
Yeah, he said he up and left because he felt the vibe was not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, he felt something coming.
He knew not that his music was causing anything, but them being all amped up, like,
Yeah.
it didn't need to continue.
Yeah, MTV did the same thing. The producers, like, called whoever was there on the day, like, hey, you guys need to get the hell out of there because, like, they're angry at you guys for some reason, and they're gonna, like, come after you if you don't, and also you're in danger. Like, it's building up. Something wrong is happening. We got to get you out of there.
I wonder if
why
that's...
they started reporting, saying things like, here's what's happening at Woodstock, because they felt the vibe already kicking, so they were trying to report saying, hey, something's up in Woodstock, and then the owners would come back and like, oh, they're demonizing us.
God, if there were phones back then.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
I was surprised by how much footage there was from the lack of phones, because it seemed like everyone knew it was going to be big, even though maybe they weren't aware of how it was going to go. And man, yeah, I'm happy they brought all their cameras, because we wouldn't have so much shit on this and be so aware of this. It probably would continue if they weren't outed the way they were.
I don't know how the one on Netflix works, but on HBO it's a documentary, but it plays like a movie.
Really?
Yeah, because of all the footage they have, and they'll, if they say something and they have footage that sort of matches what they're saying, they'll put it together. But like, it kind of plays like a movie documentary, but it's happening, and it feels like it's happening in real time.
Netflix was very documentary-like for sure.
This one
not
was
as movie,
yeah.
but very interview clip, interview example, interview.
Same. It could be the same, but I'll have to check out the one on Netflix maybe, but like, it felt very like the story is being told and built up in a way, and like it's happening organically versus like, oh well, we're switching things around so like the drama happens now.
Gotcha.
And because the idea behind that is like that's how it happened in real life. Like all of us, we all felt this presence coming through the crowd, and it built up into a big fiery ball of hell.
Yeah. Them getting it on film, you can definitely see that evolution. Yeah. You can watch it.
So like for the owners to be fucking idiots and just completely deny like everything, and it's like, no, everybody saw what you did.
I wish people could see the like look on my face and like me shaking my head every time you bring them up, because they get asked questions.
Yeah.
And the way they answer with that fucking smug smirk, because they know. And like, if they admit, then they gotta take responsibility, and I bet people would start wanting more from them.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you know exactly what you did.
Yeah. And
you were bold-faced lying, and you're enjoying it. You're having fun. It's that little smile in the corner of your lips.
Is it the curly-haired guy?
Oh, I wanted to beat him with that fucking wide brim hat so bad. The one with like little ropes right here on the side, and he did have curly hair though. Okay, we're probably thinking about this because in the documentary he didn't have all the flare hats and everything. He was just wearing his hair. That guy, they made a movie about the first Woodstock, and Dimitri Martin, the comedian, played him. I don't know if you know who Dimitri Martin is, but like they kind of look alike, and that movie was kind of like. It makes sense now when it came out. Fucker.
Yeah, that guy.
Both of them fuck
That's
you,
a wig.
that fucker.
That's a wig. That's clearly a wig.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a movie that came out and they tried telling the story and it, like how awesome it was to like make a concert, and I realize now it came out maybe like 10 years after the 99 Woodstock. So that was probably them trying to like clean it up and make it like, no, it's okay. We remember the 70s one? That one was fun.
Oh, it's so funny how people in their position thought in 09, 10, 11 that they were getting away with shit and smoothing it out. And now look at you. Like, here we are.
Apparently he still has plans to make a Woodstock.
He died.
He died?
He died 3 months after the Netflix documentary.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where
he never got his up and comings.
Well, I hate that.
I know. That was the first thing they showed on the Netflix one when he got up from the interview. They were like, and then he died 3 months later. I'm like, wait. You're saying that smug fucker got away with all of it. I mean, they all do.
Of course they do.
But like watching it in real time, all consolidated into about an hour and a half documentary, it was just like, no justice. No justice, no peace, literally.
Yeah, because the HBO one ended with the cliffhanger that he's planning to do a new one in like a few years.
He must have, the HBO one must have been made first.
Yeah, I remember watching it, I think during the pandemic or around the pandemic, the beginning of it. And they interviewed, I'm almost sure, interviewing the same people.
Yep, died January 8th, 2022.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the first documentary was even filmed before the pandemic.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he was still alive and kicking. And his idea was that he was going to do another one, even though we have Coachella now.
Which is its own thing. But I guess it's a lot safer.
Yeah. The documentary I watched, that they ended saying that Coachella kind of ended up being the more peaceful, the better version of Woodstock, and it's yearly, and it also has its own little tiers of like, well, how much money do you want to spend to like have a crazy time? Like, do you just want to go walk around and like have the concert experience, or do you want the VIP where you pay a little bit more and like you go into like special areas? So it's that idea of like controlling people and where to go kind of is now in a safer spot, even though it's kind of gross and scummy with like you have to pay to like get to places.
I was gonna say it does help, and at the same time I was like, so we can separate the classes.
That's the other thing, yeah.
We'll keep the filth down on the ground in general admission.
The disgusting human.
And the elites can have VIP 1 and VIP 2 and VIP 3.
What was the last thing I heard? Oh, that's the last thing I heard about Coachella. That kind of like, oh, that's shitty. Someone, I don't know, from Coachella or somebody up in the hires, I'm not sure. They invested in NFTs, but it's an interesting idea that could work, but it's not going to work. And it didn't work. Spoilers. Yeah. You buy this special NFT like ticket that exists. It's a physical ticket for 2 years worth of entering Coachella VIP access, all access. But you're paying like a buttload of money for fake money to invest in 2 years worth VIP entry to Coachella that happens every summer.
Just glorified Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yes. There's premise where it could work, where it's like, oh, if you like expanded it, like if you made it like unlimited, whenever a concert happens, here's my ticket. I could see that being kind of a cool, like, if like Disney implies that, because they do. But also that's the fast pass. That's just a regular yearly pass. So in other words, just make a yearly pass, and you will get money from that.
NFTs.
And instead they like roll it in with the NFTs and like, all of that stupid business for 2 years worth of concert going.
NFTs are very valuable.
Yeah. So
you should invest in an NFT.
In NFTs? No. I will never.
You need your own monkey picture. It's time.
All my apes gone.
I was watching Trevor Noah's Daily Show the other day, and there was a skit about like someone their grandfather dying and then all their inheritance going to pay their student loans. And like, so the lawyer's telling the family, and this goes to Bill, and it's the guy who takes money for loans. And they're just like, what the fuck? But basically some like children's drawings come out.
Yeah.
And they're like, and the drawings from granddaughter so-and-so, and she's actually grown up in the crowd, go to Bill. They're like, what are you gonna do with their photos? Oh, they make great NFTs. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Actually, probably would do better if everyone just started taking their kids' pictures and turning them into NFTs.
I mean, it's the same concept.
But then, like, you have an emotional tie because it's your kids' things.
Yeah, but how many of those pictures have you put on the fridge? You know what I mean?
This is true. I was the kind of kid, though, that would go look in the trash and then cry about it. So, like, it had to be on the fridge.
I think my mom had the decency of, like, whenever I would show her, she would put it on the fridge, and as soon as we all forgot about it, she would just throw it away. Because also, I understand now as an adult, and I've taken care of kids enough to know, like, not all of it's a masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right?
No.
So, like, some of that you could, you know, the worst of the best, you could be like, all right, well, I'll put this as an NFT. How about that? You did such a great work with this one. This one's going in the NFT pile.
Now I can keep it forever and a small little pixel on my phone.
I mean, not for me. It's going to be for some random kid and
some frat boy.
Yeah, some rich frat boy.
He can have it. He can have the picture at grandma's house.
Is it too late for us to get into the scheming part of that? Is it too late? Should we just not?
I think it is because
it's all.
I bought some Bitcoin or this past year. And all I learned was that this was the wrong year to buy into it. Now, granted, it was like $12. It was like $12. Like, I'm not giving up a ton, but I've been watching it. It went up to like here $12.76. I'm like, wow, I'm 76 cents richer than I was when I put $12 in here to about $5 recently.
Yep.
That's like, yeah.
Nope. Hate it. Hate the whole concept of it.
I wanted to see I just wanted to see how it worked in person because I thought that, and it did teach me a lot, but it taught me that everyone was right when they said it was bullshit.
Yeah. It was all bullshit, all of it. Even though, like, I don't want to get into specifics, but like people that we know, like have dropped out of it, and it's like, all right, good, at least you learned. But like, I was screaming, top of my lungs, telling everybody, stop it, it's a scheme. No, it's not. You'll see in a couple of years. And then I realized that's just the lingo that crypto nerds and NFT nerds say. In the future, later on, you'll see, like, in a couple of years, we'll be rich. And then here's the thing with that I experienced. I got into Dogecoin, what was it, 8-9 years ago? When crypto first started was about then, and everyone then was saying, like, it's the future. It's gonna watch. You invest now, and in the future you're gonna get a good chunk of change. I got a lot of Dogecoin, not a lot. I'd say like 37 cents worth of whatever that was back then.
Yeah.
And I earned it by going onto Twitter and asking some sort of random robot if I could have some money, please. And it'd be like, here you go. And all of a sudden, some random website that had my information was like, there it is. You got 2 cents of Dogecoin or whatever.
What?
Yeah, that's how it worked back then. Like, I went on Twitter.
Dude.
All I did was go on Twitter and just ask this bot, may I have money? Or like I forgot, there was a phrasing that something for it to acknowledge that you're holding a wallet or something. So I would tell it, like, can you give me money? It's like, here you go. Boom. And then all of a sudden I get like 2 cents.
Dude.
And then I just had like 36 or 37 cents. And I think it almost blew up to like 50 or something the last time I paid attention
50
to
cents.
it. And then I just sort of let it go because I'm like, yeah, it's not moving. And I kept poking it with a stick, like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then I heard nothing for years, and then recently, what was it, 2020 when it started blowing up again? Like, that's when people thought that it started up again. I'm like, no, it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, it definitely did blow up again in 2020, because
Yeah.
that's when I started hearing about it again.
And then people started investing into it. And then I was like, oh, well, let me see if I still have all those Dogecoins. And I looked, and the website had been ramshacked or something. Like, the website that I went to didn't exist anymore.
What?
So it probably, like, whatever money it was holding, it probably got shucked by whatever hackers, and took my invisible money. So it's out there in the ether.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. What if you actually had, like, especially since you forgot about it? Like,
Yeah.
you could have had a chunk of change.
I probably
there.
could have had a chunk of change, and had it been early 2020, maybe would have been like, right, I'll just take it out now,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna play this gambling game. I just sort of like played into it because it looked like a game.
I mean, it kind of.
It is. It's absolutely a game.
It's a gambling game.
Yeah.
It is its own lottery.
No, do you know the way that they do it now? How you can earn money without like investing actual money into it? They've made mobile games.
Oh my god.
So if you ever played any mobile game that like you click on a thing and it gives you coins, it's doing the same thing but with crypto now.
What?
And you can earn it that way, but you have to like grind to earn like true anything or buy into it. So in other words, you're doing the same thing that you're trying to avoid.
How about just give me money?
Just give me the money, and then I'll consider giving you back $1.
Give me real sense. For
Yeah.
That's so dumb. That's also like, it's a good way to get people to stick with the game for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I could see some like young boys just obsessed.
Yes. And they talked to them, and they asked them, what do you like about the game? They said, we don't care, we're just trying to earn money. They're not even playing to play the game. They're playing to just earn. So at that point, you're just mining crypto.
It's just work.
With like a game face on it, or like what everybody's trying to make it look like. It's all a scam.
There's got to be a faster way to do that too.
Yes, it's called video games.
Yeah, just play. But I mean, like, to make money, because it's already so convoluted. Like,
Yeah.
you have to go through so many hoops to actually use Bitcoin. And sure, there's places where you can use Bitcoin as a transaction, or you can transfer it over, or you can withdraw it. But, like, at the end of the day,
so much work.
it's, yeah, like,
Also, people can just take your money.
that I don't like either.
Yeah.
Like, because I do understand, I don't understand the blockchain, but I do understand that the blockchain can be mined by anybody else,
But
even
then sometimes
mine.
they can't.
See, I think that's just
No,
rich
and
people lies.
The ex-president of Nintendo, when he was like doing it like a book thing, they asked him what he thinks about crypto and NFTs and all that. He says it's all bullshit, but the blockchain itself is a perfect way to preserve video games. If they can find a way to preserve video games in the blockchain so it can't be taken away, we can preserve a lot of games that have got lost through time. Because there's a bunch of games that people remember, but they just don't exist anymore because no one has, that console or that specific game anymore.
Yeah.
And soon enough, we're going to start losing a lot of games, like actual fun games that we had on Nintendos or like DSs.
Yeah.
All those,
Like Paperboy.
we can lose them someday. Like, and the blockchain would be a perfect place to like just put that data or like that kind of coding in there and make sure we can never lose something like that.
That's actually really cool.
But they're not going to use it for that. They're going to try to use it to get money from people.
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
That's really dumb, because that could be so useful.
It could be.
How did we get on the NFTs?
I don't know.
We go on some amazing rabbit holes.
Yeah. Should just be Wibbly Wobbly. That's what it's called, the Wibbly Wobbly podcast, because it just
Dibbly bobbly Walflrz.
Yeah.
How long did that go?
We're at a 40.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so moral of the story is don't stop investing into NFT, Alex, and maybe try to not go to concerts that are obviously Ponzi schemes. In fact,
Wait, concerts that are Ponzi schemes?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, because we talked about Woodstock originally.
The
Yes.
subject of the episode was Woodstock.
Yes, don't go to incel concerts.
Yeah. Don't be an incel and don't invest into NFTs, which, I mean, go hand in hand.
I also would highly recommend not slip and sliding through shit mud.
Yeah.
And bring your own water bottles.
That's important, too.
Oh, no, they took them, actually.
They took them back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you couldn't bring water bottles. I'm pretty sure that's why now sealed water bottles are allowed into most events.
Oh.
Is because of that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Because either buy our $12 water or just carry your own.
Exactly.
Here's some water fountains.
Because you can take in, like, water that you haven't opened to a concert.
Good. That's also how you sneak in all the drugs.
Well, that's why they check the seal.
Yeah.
So...
so they do check.
They look to see if the thing is loose.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into it? It can't be opened yet.
Huh. There's a market there for something.
There is. And all the head shops should get in on it.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah, haha.
Don't imply
Head
anything.
shops. Pff, shops where you buy heads.
Ah.
Yeah, you thought I was talking about
Yeah,
drugs.
you said it.
You're like, don't say it, don't say it. She said it. Okay.
Okay, well, that's the end of the episode, everybody.
Woohoo!
I hope you enjoyed our rambling conversation, but at least it was focused on two things, sort of.
4 things.
4 things.
I don't know. I didn't count.
I don't know. You paid attention. Okay. So, do you have any recommendations?
Ooh, do I? Recommend. I've been doing so much lately. I don't know. I'll do... You know what? If you have an instrument in your home and you aren't musical, you should pick it up and play anyways when you're bored, because it's actually really fun. I'm not good at all, and I just learned how to play the mandolin yesterday.
I'm slowly practicing my ukulele.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I taught myself losing my religion over the week.
Ooh.
Because Ian had the mandolin, and I was like, I might as well. Like,
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible. I'm very choppy, but I can do all the chords. But yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are. You should pick it up and just have fun, because music is fluid. It's not actually as exact as people want it to sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
What do I recommend? I don't know what I recommend. I'll recommend playing Digimon Survive. It's a fun game, but it's you ever heard of visual novels?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's basically a very long visual novel with some like tactical, you know those tank games where you have to like place your tanks and like position them to like shoot at certain enemies. It's kind of that sort of game.
Oh, like a strategy
Yeah,
game?
strategy.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's a very long visual novel, and it's fun. It's a fun story, but it with the warning that it is kind of more of a movie than anything.
Got like interactive movie.
Yeah, kind of, but they're all just in one place. They're not, you have to read the story.
A lot of those like more anime-like games seem to go that way.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played very many, but I'm thinking of a Doki Doki Literature Club.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just watched like gameplay online. It's hilarious. So
That's a fun.
it's really scary.
Actually,
and it's
you know
really
what?
funny.
Let's recommend Doki Doki Literature Club.
You know what? Yes. Even if you're not gonna play it, it is just fun to watch the gameplay, because it's just
sweet.
a story.
It's a story that's there that you don't know what's going to happen, but it's a fun one.
It's basically just a lot of anticipation.
Yes.
Lots and lots of anticipating.
Yep. Which is fun. Oh,
Good anticipation, yeah.
I want to go back to that game again. But
It's a liminal space. Because you're trying to get to the end, and it's hard to get there.
Ooh, okay. I see what you're doing.
I wish they could see, like, when I point at the microphone, like, I'm pointing at people listening. It's like, you.
You, the audience.
When I look at the microphone, like, I'm speaking to people.
It works. Okay. Well, we're about 45 minutes.
Boo.
I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. This is my sister from another Mr. Haley.
My brother from another mother, Morgan.
And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. See y'all.